All right, everybody, welcome to this edition of the Below the O-Line podcast. We are on the lucky number 13. We got the usual panel. We got Joseph and Danny. Justin, he's not on right now, but he'll probably get on later. I said it early. It's kind of like Matt Kenseth and Eric Jones. He kind of just sneaks in. It's like, oh, yeah, he's there.
Yep.
We got a jam-packed episode for you, especially after yesterday. So let's not waste any more time. Let's get started.
Not wasting any time, indeed. What a weekend just took place at a wet weather Daytona International Speedway for the final time in the 4th of July weekend. We have our 400-mile Coke Zero 400 race.
Coke Zero Sugar.
Coke Zero Sugar. Got to add the sugar. 400.
Yeah.
I could use some sugar.
Yeah.
We had one of the biggest upsets take place in NASCAR history. Also, before we get into that, on the land down under... Women go, women fly.
Get out.
Oh, yeah. Supercars.
Get out.
Oh yeah.
Get out.
Supercars with the Townsville 400. 2 races, dominant snapped, and IMSA above the border into the true north. Strong and free in Canada, the Mosport Grand Prix, a Canadian tire. And then we go sip some tea at Wimbledon. Not just Wimbledon, Goodwood Festival of Speed in Great Britain.
Yeah.
We'll also give a preview of the upcoming races this weekend. NASCAR heading over to Kentucky for a race more than just one lap. ARCA at Elko, F1 at Britain, and IndyCar in Toronto. Without further ado, let's get things started.
I don't even know where to begin. I truly don't know where to
I am
begin.
a terrible.
Well,
Okay, so let's
start off with truck.
Let's start off with
No,
the
let's start
NASCAR.
with okay. Let's start with the Xfinity series. The least. What the hell just happened? Part of the week.
Okay, and the Xfinity race, I have a distant memory from, which is pretty funny.
I'll give you guys the rundown. As I predicted, the calling cars were the
I
dominant.
need to turn my light on. Keep going on.
All right, as I predicted, as Joseph goes for a life mission. All right, let me get back on track. As I predicted, the calling cards were the class of the field. We had Justin Haley, AJ Allmendinger, and Ross Chastain. How can I forget? And Ross Chastain basically pacing the field. No one could catch the calling cards. The only drivers who looked like they had a shot were Christopher Bell and Tyler Reddick. Christopher Bell got a third-place finish after AJ Allmendinger's DQ. Tyler Reddick had to pit early, had to pit out of the top 5, like 3 laps to go for a flat tire, ended his chance at a win. But Ross Chastain, second career Xfinity Series win, first win of the season. I'm kind of pissed that he switched to truck points now because I really want Brandon Jones out of the playoffs. But let me get back to it. Get to Colin Racing's first win in the series. Justin Haley with the career best finish of second. Calling Racing 1-2 across the line. Obviously, like I said before, with AJ Allmendinger getting the DQ. But fantastic night for Colin Racing.
Your colleague racing is the star of the show Friday night, indeed.
Oh,
the best-
absolutely.
The best part about all this is definitely what happened. They not only finished 1, 2, and 3, but they did it in style. And 1, 2, 3 with a little asterisk. I know the third place car got axed due to an infraction post race. However,
Team orders.
Team order. I just had to say the obvious, okay?
All right, continue, Joseph.
and what I'll mention though is that they deserve this win.
You're right.
The race has 100 laps. That's all there is. 100 laps in the race.
And it almost feels like a shootout race.
But of those 100 laps, Colleague Racing led 86 of them. All 3 of their cars made a total of 86 laps led.
Really?
Michael Annette and Christopher Bell, we'll get into them in a moment, but this was a competitive race. There were 42 entries into this event, and 2 of the DNQs, Austin Hill and the withdrew Jeffrey Earnhardt, have I'm trying to find the word, would have had a shot at the race.
Right.
So Kaulig Racing came prepared. They want it. They deserve it. Let's talk about the big one. 14 laps to go.
Oh, that was unfortunate.
Yeah, 14 laps to go. Michael Annett and Chris Rowe made contact on the backstretch.
And that pretty much collects everybody almost. How many cars did they collect in that field?
Over 20.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
That's a shame for Michael. No, he was running in the top three all night long.
Yeah, and it's a shame for him to.
He looked like the only driver besides Bell and Reddick who could have had a shot at the calling cars.
Right.
And that final restart, once they pulled away, there was no stopping.
So let's get to Ross. So let's talk about how Ross Chastain got the win. My pick, Justin Haley. Interesting fact. I picked Justin Haley to win this week. Just the wrong race.
Right.
It's the wrong race. And both my picks for NASCAR finished second.
You know what?
Dang,
my pick
dude.
finished second on Sunday.
Well,
To be fair,
unfortunately
like
for
five
my
of us had
pick.
the same pick.
Well, unfortunately for me, my pick got caught up in that wreck caused by Michael Annett.
Yeah, that wreck.
So that's kind of unfortunate.
Yeah, it was a shame, but yeah, Ross Chastain's second career win. I think I said it like an episode or two ago. I think Colin is going to expand to 2 cars and put Chastain in it, and they even said it during Victory Lane. They're working on the sponsorship to field a second car for Chastain. So it won't be a Ganassi car, but we've seen Colin Racing like they've stepped it up this season. This is already their best season to date. More top 5s, more top 10s, and the season even. I think Justin Haley could get a win this season for them. And probably, I'll make a prediction for Justin Haley's stats.
Right.
2 wins, 8 top 5s, 20 top 10s. And average finish, average star, I don't know. I'm not going to do all that math, but like that's my prediction. And he'll get a pole or 2. So you heard it here first. Justin Haley's 2018, 2 wins, 8 top 5s, 20 top 10s.
It's a great season.
That's a very great season.
There's your World Racing Media Xfinity predictions for Justin Haley.
Oh no.
Oh no.
And I just cursed Justin Haley now for the rest of the season. He's going to finish second forever now. I hope not. All right. So, yeah, like I said, there's never that much talk about the Xfinity race. Now, let's keep on the topic of NASCAR. What the hell happened yesterday?
I'm still trying to find out why.
Unbelievable.
That word is
I
an
am
understatement.
still, it really is. I am still shocked to the core that this happened with a small team slaying down powerhouse teams like Hendrick, which, by the way, William Byron and Johnson finished second and third, which is really good.
Okay.
But how can this happen? I am still shocked.
No, I gotta get to my notes right here.
I'm sorry, Joseph, but I'm really having a Stephen A. Smith moment right now, man. I really
We
am.
all don't you,
I
buddy?
think we all have.
I really am.
Just
So
continue while I try to find the words.
I'm trying to find
to say.
the notes I was taking. Okay, so this is how things got started yesterday. Rain pushes the race to Sunday at 1 p.m. Qualifying canceled due to rain. And there was a conflict in practice.
Right.
I'm sure many people at this point have forgotten what happened. The
Don't
conflict
worry,
involved-
NASCAR will shove it down our throats for rivalry.
As usual.
Oh man. Brad Keselowski and William Byron made contact heading into turn 3 in final practice. Luckily, no further damage except for the fact that Byron went to a backup car.
The fact we went
And
to a
the
backup.
talks-
The fact that he went to a backup car. I saw pictures of the damage. I don't know what went on the inside of the car, but that damage looks so minuscule. So the fact that it went to a backup car was just like.
So yeah, minuscule. That's another
Right.
big word I'll remember.
But at least he made it up to finish second.
Indeed.
Yeah, and Chevrolet. I mean, the Fords were clearly the class of the field, but then the Chevrolet started working together. I think Austin Dillon, in my opinion, was the best Chevrolet, and Logano was the best Ford. I mean, you just saw they were up front all race long, and like, interesting fact: there's 6 Toyotas in the field. Only 5 of them are full time, and yet they lead the manufacturer standings. 6 Toyotas are taking on more than 3 times the amount of Chevrolets, more than 3 times the amount of Fords. That's just crazy to think about.
Here's what I'll say. Toyota has the least amount of cars on the grid on a weekly basis, but of those cars, the drivers are the best of them. And that's why Toyota has 10 wins in 18 races over Ford and Chevrolet, which have 8 total.
I don't know. Toyota doesn't have a 7-time champion.
Not yet.
I think all their drivers combined, they only have 2 champions. Just Kyle Busch, Denny Hamlin, Eric Jones, Truex, Independent. Yeah, they only have 2 champions, Truex and Kyle Busch.
If you want to be exact, they could have had more.
The playoffs are here to stay. That's a rant for another day.
Let's move on to what happened on Sunday. So, after the conflict was practiced, here's a list of cars that went to the rear. You have William Byron, Kyle Larson, BJ McLeod, Cody Ware, Brendan Gaughan, Justin Haley, and Matt DiBenedetto all get sent to the rear, which many forgot about. And then here's the race. So Joey Logano wins stage 1, who started first. Stenhouse and Kurt Busch make contact. And Kurt Busch has another incident by himself with a blown tire.
Is that why he had all that?
Was also collected. Both recovered.
Is that why Kurt Busch had all that damage to the front side of his car?
Yes.
Ah, okay. Kevin Harvick's car blew. Kevin Harvick's tire blew up while they were under the red flag. I thought that was kind of funny. I was like, did that tire just? I was looking at it. I was like, did that tire just blow up?
All right. So now moving on, you have
You good?
Yeah, I'm just looking. Lap 84. In the trial, we have a multi-car crash involving Kevin Harvick, who literally what Brad said.
He ain't
Thursday.
lifting. He ain't lifting.
He did not lift on Brad Keselowski.
He made it clear to the rest of the field.
And the rest of the field made it clear to him.
Exactly. It's like, all right, you ain't going to lift. We ain't going to lift.
Daniel Suarez, David Reagan, Daniel Hemrick, Joey Logano was collected in the wreck. And
this all started by Kevin Harvick.
Pretty much.
Well, hear what? Kevin Harvick hit Brad Keselowski, but then everyone else just tried avoiding, and that's where all the other incidents happened.
Yep. Oh, let's not forget about Boyer and Austin Dillon.
Oh, yeah.
How did that turn out?
Oh, yeah. We'll get to that. It's the big one at Daytona.
Oh, boy.
Well, we'll get to that, but I know Austin Dillon, like I said, was the best Chevrolet. He led the most laps in the race and won stage 2.
Stage 2 was Austin Dillon's, and he had a great race. And I gotta turn this. Sorry, Stephen A.
Oh, man.
Dang, Flabbit.
What's going on?
So let's get into the big one. So, Boyer cuts down on Austin. So, they make it 3 wide.
Right.
Hamlin made a 3 wide move on Paul Menard and Austin Dillon to take the lead. He led for like about 6 laps. Then Austin Dillon retook the lead. Then Clint Boyer went down, chopped down to go for Austin Dillon. Austin Dillon tries blocking Boyer, but here's the thing: this is what Stenhouse did with Kurt Busch. It's like they're trying to block when they can't. It's like the first incident with Stenhouse and Kurt Busch. Stenhouse was trying to block Kurt Busch, but Kurt was already he blocked Kurt Busch the first time. Okay, that's fine. But Stenhouse got tight, so he had to move. Kurt Busch got underneath him. But Stenhouse, he still tried to block. He tried to force his way in there. Then eventually he got turned. The same thing happened to Austin Dillon. Austin Dillon tried forcing his way into Clint Boyer, and it didn't work. And then it caused a 19-car wreck.
Yeah, the 19-car wreck. Here's what I'm going to say, and say what you want about the incident. Clint Boyer was aggressive. He found an opening on the inside of a 3-wide situation
and made it work.
He executed. Austin Dillon made a really late block.
Yeah, I don't know. No, go ahead.
Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Austin was loose before he even got touched by Boyer. And so yeah, he gets loose and slides basically in front of everybody. 20 cars, nearly 20 cars were taken out. And everybody luckily walked away from the wreck. And this changed the complexity of the race. We're on lap 120, so we're doing laps under caution. NASCAR did not red flag the race because of the big one.
Right.
And many people, I'm sure, would wonder why that didn't happen. And the reason for that is because they want to get as much laps completed as possible, try to reach the lap 160 mark, if they can, as fast as possible. So on lap 125, now this is interesting. Lap 125, NASCAR is trying to restart the race. And while attempting to restart the event, Matt McCall, the crew chief of Kurt Busch, tells him to pit. They innocently pit. They didn't realize they were going to be one to go before green. He comes down the pits. Justin Haley takes the lead. And then NASCAR waves off the restart attempt and brings the cars down pit road. That's how Haley takes the lead.
I know how that process went, but I am still shocked. I know you could explain this as much as possible, Joseph. I am still shocked.
So so obviously that happened. They went on. Here's the thing. NASCAR has this thing where they have this lightning clock, which is probably the only clock actually like that NASCAR has. Oh, by the way, what's up, Blake? It's all good. So they have the clock where if there's lightning within 8 miles, they pause the race for 30 minutes. And that's actually a good thing. You could talk about it or whatever, but it's for safety reasons. I mean, we saw what happened in 2012 at Pocono. Was it 2012?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, 2012 at Pocono. So it's like, you got to do something. Here's my problem. NASCAR literally did everything in their power to make sure Justin Haley did not win this race. Literally, they prolonged it for like 2.5 hours. They had red flag. They had rain after rain. They got like 20 jet dryers out. The track was dry. They had like 2 lightning clocks, which is like, okay. And then the drivers got called back to the cars, and then lightning comes back again. So another one, the third one. At that point, it was like, just call the damn race.
Yeah.
So they wait another hour, and it starts pouring. So they wait like another 30 minutes until like after like 3 hours later, it's like, okay, the race is over. Justin Haley, you won. which by the way, I posted on I posted on my Instagram story. I never thought I had to report Justin Haley winning a cup race with Spire Motorsports. Never in a million years did I think that.
And Kamikaze Games, go follow his channel. I'm I just watched his video and the look he has on his face is the same exact look I have on my face, which is this.
If I could see it, that is.
Exactly. It was like, what?
What?
Like I guarantee, if I wasn't watching the race and I just look at my phone and I see Justin Haley, I'd be like, what? Wait, what?
Okay, let's be a little more fair.
Right.
Did you not see the Talladega race?
Yes. We did.
Remember him leading in the front pack? He was hanging on with everybody else, keeping up.
Right.
Yeah, that's true. But still. But still. And here's the thing. I saw the NASCAR fan base just like split on like NASCAR just calling the race. Here's what I have to say. Obviously, you know, there's the 2012 Daytona 500 where, you know, they prolonged the race to like 1 a.m. and Matt Kenseth got the win, even with the track on fire. It's a lap 127 to 160. It's already been like 2.5, 3 hours of red flag.
Right.
So I saw on Twitter, like the weather service, they said like it'd be raining for like another hour or two. Okay, so it was like 6 o'clock. Okay, so 8 o'clock. Then it'd take about 2 hours for it to dry. So you're starting to race like at 10:30 at night. It's Sunday. People got to go to work. People got to go to people don't got to go to school. It's summer. People got to go to work. People got to get up early. They're not going to stay up and watch the race. And I guarantee you, most of the people at the track would be gone by then. So that's number one. Number two, you're going to wait all those hours for 25 for like there's 33 laps to go. A lap around Daytona is less than a minute. It'd probably go green with about like 28 laps to go. 20, 30, 20 laps to go. So you get about 25 to 30. You get like 20 to 30 minutes worth of racing. That's assuming there's not another big one, which results in another red flag. So you're wasting all these hours for what, like less than 30 minutes worth of racing? It's just not worth it.
Here's the thing. The 2009 Daytona 500 comes to mind. There was 45 laps to go. The rain wasn't too bad. It wasn't too terrible. But they ended the race.
Yeah.
And I still feel unjust about it. And especially because I was 11 at the time and 10 at the time, 10 turning 11. And I have fantasies of the race, like childhood fantasies of what could have happened. But that's for another story.
Jonas having
Childhood
fan fictions.
fantasies.
Jonas has fan fiction of the Daytona 500.
No. Well, if you want to know the
God.
truth, it's me stealing Elliott Sadler's car and passing Kenseth the 9 to go win the Daytona.
Oh yeah, you
But-
told us about this story.
Yeah. I had some crazy thoughts as a kid. Moving on, though. I'm like, okay, the rain's not too bad, but we could get this restarted, can we? And they didn't. I'm like, congrats, Kenseth. Try winning one for real. And he does in 2012. But this case was much worse. The rain was awful. Everywhere you looked. Rain, heavy downpour. And it was about 3 hours till NASCAR made the decision to call the race. I feel like everybody got tired at this point. They're like, we got Kentucky next. We got to move on. We have to, move forward. And NASCAR had one attempt to having the drivers enter the cars. And then lightning happened.
At that point, I just said call the race. I mean, you're really going to wait another 30 minutes to an hour. Once the rain hit, I was like, if they don't call this race, I swear to God. 'Cause like I said, like 30 minutes or less worth of racing. It's not worth it. Especially if there was another big one. There was another big one. I don't even think that I truly don't even think NASCAR would have wasted time to try to get the race back going. They'd be like, all right, race is done. Let's go home. But yeah, Justin Haley Spire mode. Think about this. Every time, and for the rest of the season, every race, that stamp 77 car running 35th is going to have a winner sticker on it.
And it's gonna be very, very
Just, I could guarantee you, like, Kyle Busch is going to be leading.
I don't want to say haunting, but just shocking to see.
All right, you want to know something interesting about Spire Motorsports and Entertainment?
I could just
Okay.
imagine, like, oh, yeah, go ahead.
Here we go. This is their first top 20 finish. And their previous best finish, 22nd place in the Daytona 500 with Jamie McMurray. Now, mind you, that was a collaboration with Chip Ganassi Racing.
And Justin Haley's previous best finish was like 34th. What the hell?
Isn't that crazy?
Can you imagine Quinn Hoff was in that car?
Oh my God.
The man. Oh, no. Can you imagine if Joseph's favorite driver, Dylan Lupton, was in the car?
Oh, man.
Would
All
Justin
right.
Haley could win a race before Danica?
Isn't
And
that surprising?
And think about this. Spire Motorsports now has more wins this season than Stuart Haas.
That is unfortunately very true.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you the top 10 right here, and I'll list you some even more fun facts about this race.
Oh, yeah. Like half of the top 10 at career best finishes.
Yes, Justin Haley, career best in first. William Byron, career best second. But here's something even more impressive. Or not impressive, but wildly true. 2 of the top 10 drivers in the championship standings finished in the top 10 in the race. Just 2.
Busch and Almirola.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, Justin Haley, William Byron, Ty Dillon, Corey LaJoie, Matt Tifft all got their career best finishes. As for Justin Haley, Corey LaJoie, and Matt Tifft, all 3 of them gets their first ever top 10.
Justin Haley got a lot more than that.
Isn't that crazy for Matt Tifft though? That's really good for him. His first year with Go Fast Racing, he gets a top 10. That's
Front row.
Yeah.
Matt Sis with front row.
Oh,
LaJoy's with Go Fast.
oh, Go Fast. Oh, my bad.
So here, let's see what we got here. Yeah, so Haley first, Byron second, both career best. Jimmy Johnson ties his career best finish in the past 2 years. His best finish since 2018 at Bristol, where he finished third.
I have a fun fact, another one. So here's the notables. Sorry if I interrupted you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Here are the notables, and this is where they finished. All the championship favorites: Kyle Busch 14th, Alex Bowman 21st, Martin Truex Jr. 22nd, Joey Logano 25th, 26th Denny Hamlin, 29th Kevin Harvick, 35th for Chase Elliott, and 39th for Brad Keselowski.
What was this race?
It was just an absolute oddity. An oddity. This is what this is.
I don't know what to think.
I don't know what to say, man.
I want to say something. Like, I found some interesting statistics with this, with the Coke Zero Sugar 400 this year, and let me just pull them out. This might take a while. I got to scroll through. Okay, here we are. So, some Coke Zero Sugar 400 stats. This is Ryan Newman's first top 5 since 2017. This is the first top 5 of William Byron's career. This is the first time Chevrolet went back-to-back with wins since 2017 with Jimmy Johnson at Texas and Bristol. Out of the top 10, 5 of them had career best finishes. And this is the first time since 2017 Jimmy Johnson has had back-to-back top 5 finishes.
So that really just says something now for what Chevrolet has to offer.
I think that says more just what this race was more than anything.
It's out of luck.
Yeah,
Let's be real.
it
This-
really is.
Okay, so I think we have everything covered for the Cup Series. Next race will be round 19 at Kentucky, coming up this Saturday night. And you ready to talk about the next race coming up here?
wait,
Supercars?
yeah, wait.
The Supercar
Let's
Series.
get
Hold on.
let's talk about IMSA and supercars before we
Oh,
get
let's
on
start
to
with
the.
IMSA? Okay,
Yeah.
Let's start with the supercars.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Well, whatever you guys want to do.
Yeah, I got my Supercars notes in order, so.
I've got to say, with Shane Van Gisbergen getting his
Second one.
his second win of the season, I honestly feel that Scott McLaughlin could have won, but thanks to David Reynolds' stupidity, he finished 14th.
Say what you want about the lap 1 incident, Dan, but on race 2, round 18 at Townsville, I think that, yeah, McLaughlin made an instant block, but David Reynolds, what else would he do? It's the first lap. It's the first
It's the
corner.
first lap. Yes.
And it's Scott McLaughlin.
Yeah, that was the second race. Let's talk about the first race real quick. Scott McLaughlin leads 25 laps en route to his 13th win of 2019.
Very
Started-
dominant performance.
Started third. Jamie Whincup finishes second, led 13 laps. Chaz Mostert closes out the podium. Let's talk about race 1 for a moment.
Oh, Jamie Whincup.
Because in the
I-
next
I
race, it doesn't go so well for him.
I honestly gotta give him some credit, even though I despise the guy. I gotta give him credit for what he's doing, man. For what he did in that race.
Runner-up finish. I don't think I've ever seen a full supercars race because I can't stay up till 1 in the morning for the life of me. So I don't know who's the. Obviously, I know Scott McLaughlin's the best in the series. I mean, if you win 13 out of the 18 or 16 races, I mean, it kind of says something. So
Yeah.
that's all I know. All I know is that Scott McLaughlin is the best, and he's with Penske, so I like him.
Yeah. Scott McLaughlin. And I have something very interesting. After race 1, Scotty had 9 consecutive podiums in his 15th of 2019. That's 17 races. 2 of them outside the podium. And you can't stop him. This guy, is doing Lewis Hamilton things.
So that really does say something. When you mentioned Lewis Hamilton and Scott McLaughlin together, that really does say something.
You know what that
When
equals?
you mention Lewis Hamilton and Scott McLaughlin together, I don't know if you either
Pure
think of it as just
dominance.
either
Yeah,
pure
exactly.
dominance or just pure sleepiness for some other people.
Dominance always results in sleepiness. Always.
Unless it's IndyCar. IndyCar is a weird thing where if someone is dominant, you don't get bored.
Here's the thing, though. In IndyCar, dominance is applauded. While really in any other form of racing, dominance is frowned upon.
You led all the laps. What's wrong with you?
I'm pretty sure Truex Jr. had that.
Truex always wins the most boring races.
Not all of them.
Not all of them.
Eh,
but
most
some
of
of them.
them.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not even his fault. They're just it's just boring. It's not even his fault. It's literally just the races just be boring.
but it's like, then again, what can he do?
Yeah, exactly. All right, now let's move on to race 2 because that one I know a little bit more about.
Yeah, race 2 is the more interesting one. First of all, this was shortened due to wet weather. It was raining hard on the track.
Global warming.
Hmm?
Global warming.
Those damn liberals.
Oh, okay.
Okay, we're not
guys,
getting political here.
Yeah. Let's not even go there.
All
But
right.
let's be real.
Right.
Weather affects this race. 64 laps for race 2. And of course, like Dan mentioned, the start of the race, David Reynolds makes contact with Scott McLaughlin, and Scotty takes an unscheduled pit stop, which results in him starting, like Dan mentioned, the start of the.
Sorry about that.
That's good, bro. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
Anton De Pasquale is the driver of the day, in my opinion, for race 2. He led 29 laps. The driver of the day. Started 4th and led, like I said, 29 laps. Or actually, he finished 4th, started 7th.
Right.
And then Win Cup. We got to talk about Win Cup, the grip. When you drive on a wet racetrack, things become inevitable.
Very, very inevitable. And the way how I see it is that if you are able to drive on a wet track, then you have got what it takes. That way you've got really skills, because in my opinion, and I know I'm getting off topic here, but in my opinion, if the only driver that is able to drive on a wet track is Ayrton Senna. I don't know anybody else but that.
Hold on. You guys said that's inevitable, right?
Yes.
I am inevitable.
I had to.
Oh, no.
As soon as you said that word, I just went on YouTube and I just turned on my speaker. I was like, all right, I have to do it.
Oh, no.
I also own some other drivers who can race on the wet, or at least maybe not race, but qualify on the wet. Lewis Hamilton. Last year, I think like in all the rained qualifyings last year, he started on pole. Like that was even like a thing last year where it's like, oh, qualifying is going to be rainy. Everyone was like, all right, Lewis Hamilton's getting the pole. So I remember that being a thing. But then again, qualifying is different from the race. Then again, he won 11 races last year, so.
Yeah, I know what you mean. And we're going to a track where rain is usually in the picture. Silverstone. And let's see about more on race 2. So yeah, Jamie Win Cup makes a mistake, retires from the race, crashed out. And then I believe De Pasquale made a mistake. I think it was did he come down the pits or did he just lose grip? I think he took the turn wide, but he lost the lead. And Shane Van Gisbergen takes over the top spot. Yeah, Blake just said spot always reigns too. Absolutely.
Yep.
Shane Van Gisbergen scores his second win of 2019.
How many drivers have won this season? Obviously, Scotty. I know his teammate Fabian did, and I know Shane did. Are those the only winners? Or is there someone else?
Fabian Coulthard won.
Yeah. I said Fabian Coulthard. He won 2 races. I know that.
I'm looking at the results right here. Chaz Mostert won race 3 at Melbourne.
Ah, okay.
Melbourne has 4 races.
Yeah.
So pretty much Shane Van Gisbergen is the only Holden driver winning.
Red Bull, right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
Triple Eight Engineering, and that's where I'm about to get into the team's championship, which has DJR Team Penske leading. They have 877 points over Triple Eight Engineering and the Haldens. So yeah, Holden, they're starting all over again. This is like Chevy and NASCAR 2018.
Let me give you the top 10 for the race. So Shannon Van Ginsberg, obviously, with the win. Fabian Coulthard, I
Coulthard.
probably butchered his name, apologize. And Cameron Waters round out the podium. Anton De Pasquale and Chaz Moser round out your top 5. Then Rick Kelly, James Golding, Lee Holdsworth, Michael Carso, and Simona Del Silvestro. I probably butchered like
D.
half those names.
Silvestro.
D. Silvestro.
D.
Yeah.
Silvestro, I apologize. Round out your top 10. I'll give the point standings for the races once we start talking about the ones for the upcoming ones. So I think that's all for supercars. So I guess we'll move on to IMSA.
Yeah, Blake just said in the comment section, I haven't really watched Supercars this year. I should pick it back up. Yes, you should. It's a great excuse for a slumber party with you and a screen.
Who doesn't want to watch Scott McLaughlin just pull a Lewis Hamilton?
We're going to talk about IMSA.
Right.
So Mazda goes 1-2. Interesting fact. The Mazda that won was the number 77. Guess who won the NASCAR race?
77.
The number 70,
77.
the number 77. And it was July 7th.
77.
I think not.
Dude, it is absolutely insane. And it happened on Seven's Day.
Just
What if I
What's
tell
that?
you even more crazy? Another crazier thing that I
at this point, after yesterday, nothing surprises me anymore.
Okay,
Yeah.
the 2007 Pepsi 400 was held on July 7th, 2007. So 07, 07, 07. And Clint Boyer, the 07 car, finishes P7.
It really be like that sometimes.
Very-
That's all I'm
yeah,
gonna say. It really be like-
Very spooky.
It really be like that sometimes.
It's
I
very,
just want
very
to double check
spooky.
something because now that I'm thinking about it, Daytona. Okay, he did not start 7th. He started 12th, but he finished 7th in the 07 car on 07, 07, 07. Oh, yeah, Watkins Glen. I see Blake talking about Watkins Glen.
Mm.
Yeah, so Mazda finished 1-2 once again. Team Penske got third, so they round out the podium. So Mazda's having a late season resurgence. They went back to back with their 1-2s. So, what do you guys think about that?
Well, Mazda, they deserve it. This is their time to shine.
Yeah.
They've always fallen short on the prototype programs in recent years. And finally, I mean, we all thought at the Daytona 24 hours that they were going to win from the pole, and both cars had mechanical failures, including a fire on the backstretch chicane. And then Watkins Glen, they not only just win, they finished 1 and 2. And that's a statement-making victory.
And then same thing here in Canada.
Yeah. And in Mosport, they finished 1-2.
The Team Penske number 6 got third.
Yeah, Penske got third, number 6, which I believe they are now in the points lead. We'll get to that in a moment. 4th place was the Whelen number 31 Cadillac, and the number finishing 5th place is number 7 Penske Acura, Elio Castroneves and Ricky Taylor.
That number 7 hasn't been nearly as consistent as the number 6.
It really be like that, though.
especially with Ricky Taylor. I think that like I know he's been with that team for I think nearly 2 years already, but it's like you think that team they haven't even won yet this season, have they?
I don't even.
The 6,
The 6-1,
Actually,
yeah, the
no.
6-1 back to back. I know that.
Long Beach and Mid Ohio.
Yeah, but like the number 7 has been winless so far. Elio, please win.
Well, here's the thing though. Juan Pablo Montoya is a much better driver all around.
Oh yeah, Juan Pablo Montoya. It's like people don't give him the credit that he deserves. Where it's like he can literally drive anything and win in anything. Elio, I feel like he's still getting adjusted to these sports cars.
It's funny. I compare Juan Montoya to guys like AJ Foyt, Dan Gurney, Mario Andretti of the modern era, because there isn't many like him that can get in any car and succeed with them. You could argue Tony Stewart or Robbie Gordon, but even then, like, it's pretty much.
I don't really. Well, Tony Stewart. Yeah, you could put in there because obviously he's an IndyCar NASCAR champion. He's a dirt car guy. Robbie Gordon, you could throw in there. You could even throw Fernando Alonso in there because he's raced in Indy cars. He's raced in sports cars. He's raced in F1 cars. The only thing he's really racing is like off-road or NASCAR.
Jimmy Johnson ran off-road, motocross, and stadium super trucks before joining NASCAR.
Well, yeah, but like Jimmy Johnson hasn't really done anything else ever. Actually, no, wait. No, he has raced in sports cars. Didn't Jimmy Johnson win a Rolex 24?
I'm looking that up right
Scott
now.
Pruitt as well.
Scott Pruitt, yeah. Scott Pruitt's a driver that's done a lot in his career.
Even though he sucked in NASCAR.
Jimmy Johnson. I'm looking at his achievements. He has not. Closest he's came was finishing second in the 2005 24 Hours of Daytona.
Yeah, well, didn't he drive a Pontiac?
Pontiac prototype. Yeah, they had Pontiac Daytona prototypes.
Blake said Jimmy Johnson did win a Rolex 24 in 2007.
Wait, did they?
That's
2007 was it was Ganassi. Ganassi in the it was Ganassi in the Lexus.
I'm gonna go for the most credible source out there, Wikipedia
or Racing Reference.
Wikipedia's easier.
Racing Reference. Just kidding. We're gonna have an argument. Wikipedia, Racing Reference, Wikipedia, Racing Reference.
Achievements. Okay. 7 wins at Texas, Charlotte, Martinsville, Dover. Yeah, no, I don't see anything here that says Jimmy Johnson won a Rolex.
Nah.
Yeah, no, he hasn't.
But
well, that answers
Jeff
our
Gordon
question.
has.
Oh yeah, 2017. I remember they made that a big deal where it's like Jeff Gordon's back in the seat, and I was like, is he back in NASCAR? And that's like, no, he's in IMSA. I'm like, oh,
I want to see him run Le Mans.
Will he?
I don't think so.
Okay, Johnson finished second twice in the Daytona 24 Hours. Second in 05 and second in 08.
Here's an interesting thing. Jimmy Johnson, like everyone said what Jimmy Johnson's going to do after 2020. I think he's going to go for that Rolex 24 win.
Yeah, I think so.
I want to see Gordon and Johnson race the
Dude, that would be epic. That would be very epic.
I could see it happening. I don't see why wouldn't.
Can't see why. Oh yeah, we forgot to talk about the other classes in the IMSA racing in Ontario. LMP2 was only a 2-car battle. The 52 beat the 38 car. It's actually a close points battle. We'll get into that in a moment.
Well, I mean, when it's really only 2 of them.
No, but like the gap is like 2 points. I'll get into that in a moment. GTLM. Porsche, back-to-back wins. The 912 claims victory this time over the number 24 BMW. The number 911 Porsche finishes third. The 25 BMW finishes fourth. And the 67 Ford GT rounds out the top 5.
Are those the only classes that ran at Canadian Tire?
We had GTD cars, the GT3 class. The 96 BMW for Turner Motorsports, which finished second at Watkins Glen last week, wins this time. The number 86 Shank Acura comes home second. The number 12 Lexus finishes third. Number 73 PFAF Motorsports Porsche. Actually, no. That's fit. The Park Place Motorsports Porsche finishes fourth, and the PFAF or PFAFF that stands for something. Porsche finishes fifth. That's the number 9 car. Actually, the number 9 got fourth. The 73 got fourth. The 9 got fifth. But yeah, competitive race.
What time is your appointment tomorrow?
As always.
11 tomorrow.
All right. So I think that's really all for IMSA. So let's start moving on to the race. Let's move on to the upcoming race weekend. We'll start with Kentucky.
Sorry. Blake just said in the comment section that this is the 50th anniversary of the Brumos Porsche winning overall. Cool stuff.
Hey.
Yes.
How about we read out the standings?
All right, so let me give you guys the point standings heading into round 19 to 36 at Kentucky for the NASCAR Cup Series. Joey Logano holds an 18-point lead over Kyle Busch, followed by Kevin Harvick, who's 75 back, and Keselowski minus 87. Martin Truex Jr. rounds out your top 5, minus 103. Then Denny Hamlin and Chase Elliott round out 6th and 7th with 112 and 115 points back, respectively. Then Kurt Busch minus 136, Alex Bowman minus 166, and Eric Almirola completes the top 10 minus 188. Now here's the playoff grid. Obviously, since Justin Haley's an Xfinity regular, he does not lock himself into the playoffs because he's a part-timer. So the drivers who are locked in remain the same. That being Logano, Kyle Busch, Brad Keselowski, Martin Truex Jr., Denny Hamlin, Chase Elliott, and Alex Bowman. The drivers who need points to get in, Kevin Harvick, plus 184 above the cut line, then Kurt Busch, plus 124. Then we move on to the drivers who are less than 100 above. Eric Almirola, plus 72, Ryan Blaney, plus 68. That completes the drivers who are more than one race above the cut line. William Byron, close to making it, plus 54. Jimmy Johnson and Kyle Larson, plus 34 and plus 33. And the real loser of this whole ordeal is Clint Boyer, who is only plus 4 above the cut line. Ryan Newman, like I mentioned before, his first top 5 since 2017. He has moved into the playoff picture once again, plus 3 above the cut line. Now, the drivers within 100 points of the cutoff, there's 17 through 22. Daniel Suarez is currently outside the playoff grid for, I believe, the first time this season. He's minus 3. Eric Jones, he's 18th, minus 13 behind. Then you got Ricky Stenhouse Jr., he's minus 45. Paul Menard minus 53. 21st through 22nd on back, they're more than a full race behind. Chris Buescher, the highest JTD Doherty car, is 21st, minus 74, and the highest RCR car is Austin Dillon, 22nd, minus 77. And that completes your playoff picture.
I have $3. Actually, I have $1.
I think Ty Dillon is like minus 150 something. So, but he's irrelevant at this point.
Yeah, I don't see a difference being made after the race is over. Or like when we come to Kentucky, and in Kentucky, it's gonna shape a lot of stuff, I think.
Here's my question. This is really the first time we're seeing this playoffs truly get tight in that bubble but actually because there's more competitive cars on the track and not just some random guy in 25th in points got to win. He's locked in. Because think about it. Eric Jones, Daniel Suarez, Ryan Newman, Clint Boyer, they're all fighting for those last few spots. But it's not because like Chris Buescher or Matt DiBenedetto got to win. No, it's just because they're that competitive. So let me ask you guys something. 14th, 15th, 16th, and 17th are all separated by less than 20 points. Clint Boyer, Ryan Newman, Daniel Suarez, Eric Jones. Out of those four, which two are going to make it in?
Eric Jones and Clint Boyer.
You see Suarez and Newman missing out.
They're just too inconsistent.
Well, Suarez has been in the play. Suarez has been like in that 13th playoff spot for most of the season. It's really just these last two races. He's just fallen off a cliff. If you're asking me, I think that it's going to be Suarez, and it's going to be either. I think it's going to be Suarez and Clint Boyer. I don't see Eric Jones making it. Here's the thing with Eric Jones. He's just stuck in that minus 13 and 8. He's been like minus 13, minus 18 basically the entire season. I just don't see him like finding a way to just because it's like when he gets like a solid top 10, the people he needs to beat, they get top 5s. They get better finishes. And one thing that Eric Jones is lacking is stage points because he qualifies so horribly. His average start this season is like 17th. And I remember like the last 2 or 3 races, he's qualified anything outside the top 20. So so he already loses because Eric Jones hasn't developed that skill where he can run through the field like quickly like Jimmy Johnson, Kyle Busch can. But so Eric Jones, he can't do that. So you basically already write him off for stage 1. So those are stage 1 points he missed. He might get a top 10 finish, but because he doesn't get any stage points, they basically almost mean nothing. Because the other people in front of him get better finishes.
Yeah, I hear you on that. But what if I tell you that, yeah, the points you claim, like I said, now because of the stage racing, they vary. And NASCAR, of course, with the stage points rules, you got to be up. You have to be up right now, and more than ever. There's no more waiting to make your move. You can't really plan throughout the race. You got to be up there to get the points and claim as much stage points as possible so you can convert that into the playoffs and get that championship. I don't see Eric Jones doing that as much as
exactly.
the teammates.
I think Eric Jones right now he needs to work on. If he can work on qualifying, if he can actually qualify inside the top 10, stay in the top. Because Eric Jones, if he's in the top 10, he stays in the top 10. But it takes him so long to get there because his qualifying is just dog crap.
Yeah. And about that, like the starting spots this year.
Yeah, the starting
28th. This is just the first 5 races. 28th, 15th, 18th, 10th, 18th. Trust me. You gotta start in front. And his qualifying results aren't showing that. And his last 5 races don't look any better.
How many?
17th.
All right,
Hold on.
That's actually
17th,
my answer my question.
21st, 32nd, 14th, and 4th.
So only 2 races he's qualified inside the top 10.
Actually, no.
Well, from what you've read off.
Bristol, he started 4th. 6th at Kansas, 4th at Pocono.
Okay, so he does have a couple top 5s in there, but it's like, yeah, he's too inconsistent. He's inconsistent, but he's not Ryan Blaney inconsistent. Ryan Blaney, to me, is the pinnacle of inconsistency. He's either going to run top 5 or he's going to run like 15th, 16th. He's going to do one or the other. Eric Jones, he runs either 16th or he runs like 10th or 8th. Like, he needs to, like I said a while ago, with like that line of inconsistency. Eric Jones should strive to be like Ryan Blaney, where at least you're inconsistent, but at least when you are doing good, you're running top 5, you're competing
He's
for
there
the
at
win.
the right time.
I don't think Eric Jones has competed for a win this season.
Well, hold on Eric Jones. I had his page up.
I
Yeah.
think he competed for the win at Texas, but I think that's it.
So the races where he's led laps so far, led most laps. I see 30 laps led at Vegas, 13th place fit. No. Wait. No.
How many
30
laps
laps
does
at
Eric
Texas.
Jones? How
Texas.
many laps does Eric Jones have led this season?
This year, Eric Jones has so far led 45 laps. Last year, he led 99 total. 2017, he led 310. Now, mind you, that was mostly from a Bristol race,
Bristol, yeah.
which has 500 laps.
But he led like 250 laps at Bristol, so even then, like he led like just like 100 some laps on his own. Well, Eric Jones, like, here's the thing: Jimmy Johnson always had a habit of always going through summer slumps. Like in the summer, he's not going to do really good. Eric Jones is the exact opposite. In the summer, Eric Jones that's when he tends to perform the best. So who knows? During this stretch, he can actually push himself into the playoff picture. But
He's got to prove it first with a win.
like that, they need to qualify. If they could qualify better, I think that they'll be fine. But they've been qualifying so poorly that it's like that's why they don't make up any ground because they can't get the stage points. And think about this: the only reason Joey Logano has the points lead is because of stage points.
Yeah, I hear you. Sorry, I just got breaking news. Congratulations to Brad Keselowski, expecting a baby girl on the way.
Oh
Second
yeah, I
child.
saw that. Congrats to Brad.
Congrats to Brad, man.
And we'll get into Brad in a moment since we're talking about Kentucky. He has the most wins at 3.
Do you think we'll see Keselowski up front? Keselowski has been the most inconsistent winner this season. 18 races. He's only finished the top 10 in half of those races. He hasn't even reached 10 top 10s. Keselowski, it's like Brian Blake. Like Logano is the only consistent Penske driver. Keselowski and Blaney are inconsistent. Keselowski's inconsistent, but when he's consistent, he actually performs. When Blaney's inconsistent, he's more just poor running than Keselowski runs better than when he doesn't. Blaney's the exact opposite. Blaney runs worse than when he runs better. I think I'd looked at Racing Reference where without the chase or the stage points, Blaney would be like 17th in points.
Yeah. Ryan Blaney's coming to a track that I think he'll be good at. Kentucky Speedway. That's where he has this first win in the Xfinity. I can pull up his stats right here.
Where did he finish last? Where does he finish at Kentucky last year?
Last year, okay, let me see. Kentucky, he got second.
So this is a good track for him.
Hey, actually, you know what? Ryan Blaney finishing second last year to Martin Truex Jr. Absolutely.
I think that was Blaney's first runner-up finish last year. Actually, now I think about it.
And let me see. Where's Xfinity, Kentucky? He has 2 wins at Kentucky for Xfinity. 5 top 5s, 7 top 10s.
Solid.
And I just sneezed on air.
All right, so Kentucky. Here's the thing. Kentucky, in my opinion, has been the most boring and just unenthused. In my opinion, Kentucky is going. The reason I've always said that if there's any track that's going to get off the Cup schedule, Kentucky's going to be number 1 because the race
is going to be a snooze fest.
It's going to be. It's been so poor at Kentucky. However,
it's going to be
listen,
absolute. Yeah.
Listen, the strength of this new aero package has been 1.5 miles at night Kansas, and Chicagoland are prime examples. If it's a mile and a half in the day, it's more or less the same race. At big, flat 2-mile tracks, the racing is absolutely abysmal to watch. But during the night, with this mile and a half, the racing's actually good. But this is the first mile and a half we're going to go to in the night. That's really a one groove track. Kentucky's really just a one groove track. But we'll see if this aero package and the night will help improve Kentucky, or will it stay the same? Because that's the difference between Kentucky and Kansas. Kansas is a multiple groove track. Kentucky just a one groove track. So we'll see how it improves. So Kentucky, I'd say watch, and I'd say give it a shit. Like, give the first stage a shot. See what we see.
Yeah. Give the first stage a shot. And I mean, the thing is, people complain about Kentucky mainly because of the repavement. The paving of the track, I guess, took away some of the characteristics about it, which was the bumpiness. The bumpiness draws attention. Get to see tires wear out. It's appealing. Well, for the fans, not for the drivers, but
Right.
Well, I think the drivers like tire wear. It means they can actually do something.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It actually gives them some kind of improvement.
Yeah. So, who are you guys' picks for Kentucky, the Quaker State 400?
I gotta go with my man Johnson again.
He's yet to win at
Yeah,
Kentucky.
he has yet to win.
This is one of only 3 tracks that Johnson has yet to win a cup race at. I could see it happening.
Yeah.
I mean, Hendrick has been very, very strong at the mile and a halves. So I could see it happening.
The question is, when is it gonna happen?
all right. So if you look at the last 2 years, Martin Truex Jr. won the last 2 races, driving for 2 teams. And in fact, this is going to be the 1-year anniversary of his final win for Furniture Row Racing.
The question is now, can he make it a 3-peat at Kentucky?
We asked this about Truex coming to Sonoma. Can he win? Can he win in his 3rd different team at Sonoma for the 3rd different time? He did just that. I'm going with number 19. Martin Truex Jr. is going to win for the 5th time this year.
Yeah, 5th win of the season.
And that way he'll be the points leader.
Well, he'd be the leader in most wins, not the points leader. He's 5th in points.
Yeah.
All right, so here's my pick. Like we've said before, he has the most wins at Kentucky. I think that he's going to extend that win streak. Brad Keselowski will get his 4th win of the season. He will get his 4th win at Kentucky, and they'll hopefully start to put some consistency together for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that because he's my favorite driver right now.
Nah, it's fine. It's fine.
All right. Kentucky.
Now the question is, will Keselowski lift?
Oh, okay. Brad Keselowski lifting at Daytona was a no-no.
Right.
And what goes around comes around. So he might start lifting at Kentucky.
There's an
3 wins.
Xfinity race going on, isn't there?
There's an Xfinity race.
Isn't it a triple?
Yes, a
Yeah,
triple header.
all 3 series. So let's move on to let's talk about the Xfinity race. So who do you guys think is going to win Xfinity?
I would have to go with, I don't want to say Christopher Bell again, man. But you know what? I'm going to have to.
Where's the entry list?
Christopher Bell is going to get another win in Kentucky.
All right.
I just see it happening. Because the way how you look at it, he's really good on mile and a halves.
All right. What about you, Joseph?
I'm looking for the Xfinity.
I don't think it's out yet.
No, the entry list is not out yet. And I am going with the number 2 car, Tyler Reddick, Stronghold Daytona, somehow finished in the top 15. He's going to find victory for the fourth time.
Here's my pick. He has yet to win in 2019. Then again, a lot of drivers have yet to win in 2019. But out of all the winless drivers in 2019, he has led the most laps with 271. He's been good on the mile and a half. Justin Allgaier is finally going to get his first win of 2019. And Allgaier fan on Instagram,
I dropped
I'm
my
not
pen.
going to jinx it.
I dropped my pen.
All right, good
Who's
talk
going to
to you.
win?
I said Justin Allgaier. He's going to get his first win of 2019.
Will this be his only win of 2019?
Hopefully not.
Yeah,
Because
hopefully
it's
not.
kind of weird. Because it's kind of weird thinking that Michael Annett's the only winner for Junior Motorsports right now.
Yeah, Junior Motorsports, they are. Yeah, so far it's Michael Annett. Just him.
Yeah, just crazy to think about. All right, so that's Xfinity. Now let's move on to the truck series. Who do you guys got for trucks?
I've got Matt Crafton. Lock it in. Matt Crafton is going to get his truck win at Kentucky.
He has won before,
Yeah.
2015. And looking for 2016, I believe. Did he win that one too?
Can he get his third?
No. Oh, when he won, I think, was 2014 at Kentucky, was it?
Yes. 2014.
Actually, that was Kyle Busch.
Oh.
Maybe was it 2013? I know he won another Kentucky race. No, 2013 was Ty Gill, and then I'm looking around. They know the inaugural race was 2011. Kentucky was James Buescher 2012. 2011 was Kyle Busch. Yeah, so yeah, Kentucky, Crafton's going to win.
That your pick?
CC.
All right.
Okay.
Now here's my pick. So, ever since Ross Chastain's second win of the season at Gateway, I've been saying that there's going to be no Kyle Busch Motorsports trucks in the playoffs. I'm going to change my mind, and let me tell you why. In the past 3 or 4 races, this Kyle Busch Motorsports driver has finished in the top 5 in the last 3 or 4 races, as I just said. So, I think that streak is going to continue. He's going to be on the top step of the podium, even though there's no podiums in NASCAR. He's going to take the number 18 Toyota Tundra to victory lane. Harrison Burton gets his first career Truck Series win at Kentucky. It pushes Ben Rhodes out of the playoff picture for the time being.
That is great. I think, yeah, Harrison Burton might find a way to victory lane. It could just be here at Kentucky. Ben Rhodes is falling apart. Not sure why.
He's not falling apart.
That's really concerning.
He's not falling apart. He just had a bad race at Chicago. The engine just blew up. I think before that, he was like 50-something points ahead of Burton.
Damn, man.
Like the engine just died on him. That's the only reason why he's that far behind in points. Or
yeah, that's like really
GP2 engine.
The question is, should we really be concerned?
Well, obviously, I think yes. Obviously, because I picked Burton to win. So
Okay, let's think
what else?
about
We got? What else we got? We got IndyCar Toronto. We got the British Grand Prix, and is there
Other
another
stuff.
IMSA race? Is there
IMSA
any-
does not return back to Lime Rock Park. Lime Rock Park will not have any prototypes in the event.
All right, so let's move on to Formula One.
Formula One is coming to Silverstone, the famed track in Great Britain, where we will have round 10 of 21 for the British Grand Prix. This track has shown lots of success for hometown fans to cheer for, like their current driver, Lewis Hamilton. And here's history for this track. Most wins, 5. 3 drivers have 5 wins at the British Grand Prix. Jim Clark, Alain Prost, and Lewis Hamilton. 4 wins for Nigel Mansell. 3 wins for Jack Brabham, Niki Lauda, and Michael Schumacher. And 2 wins for various drivers, including current driver Sebastian Vettel. So you have that. Active winners. Hamilton with 5, Vettel with 2.
And let me give you a look at the point standings heading into the British Grand Prix. I got to scroll down a lot for this one because Formula One in an off season.
Got all hand, bro.
Yeah, I'm just trying to look for the point standings. So I gotta. God, I gotta scroll down a lot.
Can I just give you my pick?
I got them all in hand.
Hold on. I think I finally got the points standings. Oh my god.
He's getting to the point.
Okay, here we go. I got it. So the top 10 in points. Lewis Hamilton is your points leader. He has a 31-point lead over his teammate Valtteri Bottas. Max Verstappen, with his win in the Austrian Grand Prix, now moves up to third, 71 points behind Hamilton. Sebastian Vettel and Charles Leclerc rounds out the pair of Ferraris, minus 74 and 92 respectively. Pierre Gasly, the best of the rest in that Toro Rosso car, minus 154. Then Carlos Sainz and Lando Norris, a pair of McLarens, minus 167 and minus 175 respectively. McLaren has been very strong this season. Kimi Räikkönen and Daniel Ricciardo, a pair of former Big 3 drivers, round out the top 10, minus 176 and 181 respectively. So, who are your guys' picks for the British Grand Prix?
I have to go with my pick, the obvious, the points leader. Lewis Hamilton gets his 6th win at Silverstone, breaking the record with Alain Prost and Niki Lauda.
Alain Prost and Jim Clark.
Jim Clark, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Hamilton gets it done in front of his home crowd. Go
I
ahead,
agree.
Joseph.
It's funny. I picked Lewis Hamilton to win Austria. He did not even finish on the podium for the first time in the season. But he's the hometown favorite. He has 5 wins there. They don't happen on accident. Lewis Hamilton is going to score his 6th win in the British Grand Prix and his 7th of 2019, adding to that 9th podium of 2019 and that so beautiful points lead.
I agree with it. I think that Lewis Hamilton is going to get his 7th win of the season. And like Truex, Lewis Hamilton tends to win snooze fest. So I think it's going to be the same thing. Like I said, we had that glimmer of hope. The Formula One gods gave us. It's like, okay, you've suffered through enough. We'll give you this one race. And now it's back to reality.
Snap back to reality. Oh,
There goes gravity.
Don't know the rest of this. I love Eminem, but I'm Slim Shady. I'm Slim Shady. All the others. Okay.
All right. Welcome to the Eminem podcast.
Welcome to the Eminem podcast. Please stand up. Please stand up. Please stand up.
All right. Now IndyCar. So IndyCar goes to Toronto.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
We got to talk about constructors, boys.
Constructors Championship.
Hell yeah. 363, boys. That's Mercedes. Mercedes.
With constructors.
Gotta have love for constructors. 363 points. That's their Mercedes. And then 228 points for Ferrari, 169 for Red Bull, 52 for McLaren, 32 for Renault, 22 for Alfa Romeo, Racing Point with 19, 17 for Toro Rosso, 9 for Haas, and 0 for Williams.
All right. As Justin would say when it comes to Williams, nothing. 0. Fat 0.
My hero 0.
All right, so let's move on. Let's finally move on to IndyCar, and let me give you the point standings. So we are going to round 11 of 17 on the season, and here's what the standings are looking like. Joseph Newgarden has a 7-point lead over Alexander Rossi. Then 61 back is Simon Pagenaud, 94 back is Scott Dixon, and
Damn
Will
it.
Power moves into the top 5 with 108 behind his teammate Newgarden. Takuma
Oh
Sato
my
falls
God.
outside the top 5 in 6th with 110 back. Ryan Hunter-Reay 7th minus 131. Graham Rahal 8th minus 158. James Hinchcliffe, the lone Schmidt Peterson driver, in the top 10 in points. He's minus 186. And rounding out the top 10 is Felix Rosenquist, the highest ranked rookie, minus 193. And in case anyone's interested, Circuit of the Americas winner, Colton Herta, I believe he's 14th in the standings.
Not bad for a rookie, eh?
Well, he'd be higher if it wasn't for his 4 or 5 DNFs in a row.
Exactly.
So,
but Dixon being in 4th, he really needs to ramp it up in order to defend his championship.
he does.
Yeah. Here's the thing, though. This is a good news for Dixon. When we come to Toronto, he ties Will Power with most wins at Exhibition Place with 3, including last year.
Yes, this is a good track for Dixon. So,
Yeah.
who are you guys' picks for the race?
The number 9 Chip Ganassi car from Auckland, New Zealand, Scott Dixon will get.
There's no bias in there, is there? All right, what about you, Joseph? Who's your pick?
Alexa, play Land Down Under. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Will Power's going to get the 4th win of his career at Toronto.
Oh, really now?
Rob Busciano, bring it on.
All right. But we all know Kiwis got it way better than Aussies.
It's proven in Supercars last year.
All right.
Yep.
All right. Now let me guys ask you a question. Dan Pinkup, he's from New Zealand, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Who else is from New Zealand?
Scott Dixon.
That's who's going to be on the top step at the podium at the end of the Honda Indy Toronto race. Scott
Hell
Dixon
yeah,
will get his
baby.
second win of the season, his 4th win at Toronto, breaking the tie with Will Power, and hopefully trying to make a late season comeback for this championship.
Yeah, baby. And just so you guys know, I'm half New Zealand. My granddad is the one from New Zealand, and he moved to Jamaica. And that's how I was born. My dad.
Yeah. Well, when mommy and daddy love each other very much.
Let's get back into racing, shall we?
Yeah.
All right. Any
Let's
other
talk
race?
about some miscellaneous events that took place over the race weekend.
Oh yeah, you talked. about
Goodwood Festival of Speed.
Goodwood
we have
Festival
to
of
talk about
Speed.
that, man.
Motocross from Buchanan, 24H Series at Portimao, where Ferrari actually is doing something, winning for the 4th time in a row in the 24H Series.
If only they could do that at Formula One, and the season wouldn't be so abysmal.
They found a way to win in Le Mans.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So yeah, as for the 450 motocross, Eli Tomac won motos 1 and 2, winning overall over Jason Anderson, who won motos 2 and 4. So Kawasaki, Husqvarna 1 and 2, Marvin Muskin and Cooper Webb 3 and 4 overall for KTM. Honda for Ken Roczen, 5th place. Yeah, he got 6 in his first moto, second moto, third. Eli Tomac has 34 points in his advantage over Marvin Muskin, 40 over Ken Roczen, who sits in third. The next race will be in July 20th at Spring Creek. That's the name. Getting a little bit with the 2 wheels here. because we will get to Goodwood Festival of Speed, which has all sorts of wheels: 2 wheels, 4 wheels, even a 6-wheeler, right? That one
Yeah,
F1 car.
6-wheel Tiro.
Exactly. Let's talk about Goodwood.
Oh man, what an unbelievable event with Goodwood Festival of Speed. All cars from all different areas of motorsports.
Oh yeah, you had
Whether it would be Formula One, Rallycross,
NASCAR,
NASCAR, IndyCar, you
everything.
name it.
It was just everything.
It's there. And the one thing I forgot to notice, they also have a supercar shootout and a full-time shootout. And for anybody who watches the time shootout, there is a specific car that's there, the Volkswagen IDR, which is somewhat of a prototype car, but it's fully electric, and it smashes the Goodwood Hill record with 39.9, beating Nick Heidfeld's record of 41.18.
Oh really?
Talk about that, man. That's definitely, that record has been on since 1999,
Damn.
and it's finally broken now.
20-year record.
Isn't that something?
Oh yeah. The British
But-
cars usually have the advantage here.
Of course. This is absolutely unbelievable. And I'm actually watching the video right now. That car is absolutely fast. It's just so fast.
The cars are a legend.
Yeah, it is electric.
It is, and I want to see them race at Le Mans someday. That hypercar class is coming up in 2021, right?
Yes.
Thanks. I don't know if it's 2020,
20
2021.
I think it's
one of them.
2020. And by the way, speaking of Le Mans, unfortunately, SMP Racing, the Russian LMP1 team, has withdrawn from the WEC. But yeah, back.
Only what was that? What does that make it? Only like 5 or 6 LMP1s now.
Don't worry, got the hypercars coming up,
Yeah.
and I like what I see out of them. I really do.
So, anything else?
Let's see. Yeah, we talked about Silverstone, Toronto. Oh, ARCA. What about the ARCA Racing Series?
Were they racing at Kentucky or they somewhere
No,
else?
they're racing somewhere else at Elko
Ah.
Elko.
for this will be round 13 of 20, and the point standings is pretty close actually. We'll take a look at the 2019 standings. They had their first off week since I think Toledo in early to mid-May. Here's the point standings. Michael Self, the Utah native for Venturini, leads over Brett Holmes. The difference is 35 points apart. Third place, 60 points back, is Travis Braden. Fourth place, 85 points behind, Christian Eckes. Joe Graff Jr. is fifth, minus 205. So, yeah, there's your contenders. It's really down to the top 4 between Self, Holmes, Braden, and Eckes.
All right.
Who's getting the better end coming to Elko?
I say Christian Eckes. I really have no reason.
Yeah.
He's in the
There's
Venturini
no
Motors.
reason for anybody to say.
Yeah, I got Christian Eckes getting the win. I don't really have really big explanation. I've really been paying attention to ARCA. Actually, it's Tom Majeski in the race.
Yeah. He's running the full season. He only
Oh, I
missed
think- Well, I want to pick Ty Majeski, but part of me doesn't want to. Now I'm sticking with my pick, Christian Eckes. I'll save Ty Majeski for another race. What about you guys?
I gotta go with Eckes, man. I really do. I'm definitely gonna go with Eckes. Okay.
All right. Well then, Joseph.
I'm going with Christian Eckes.
Oh, we have variety. All right. So is that it?
Let's see what else. Oh, congratulations, Team USA. We almost won 2 gold medals. USA, of course, won the Women's World Cup against the Dutch. And we lost to Mexico in the CONCACAF Gold Cup. So there's that. Just extracurricular stuff. Because why not?
All
Oh,
right,
and the
so-
Tour de France. We got to talk about the Tour de France, do we?
It's called motorsport. There's no motor in a bike. You idiot.
Yeah, man. What is the matter with you?
Come
Nah,
on,
I'm
let's
just
see.
kidding.
Hold
No,
on. Joseph, I think you need to stay off
the damn
weed.
You guys are nuts, man.
All right. So the Tour de France. I don't know anything about it. All I know is that they
Stage
ride,
3
they ride
is
up,
tomorrow.
they ride up bikes around France. That's all I know.
Yeah, man.
They're not in France yet. We're still in the
So they're riding to France right now. They're
I
on
need Wikipedia to help me out with this.
They're on their bikes to France. That's what you're telling me.
I need Wikipedia help me out here. Okay, so stage 1 was complete. It was a flat stage. Stage 2 was a team time trial. Stage 3 is a hilly stage from Belgium to Ebirne, and then from stage 4, which is tomorrow morning for us, Reims to Nancy, and that is in. Is that in France? I thought we were in Belgium the other day.
Like they literally don't get off the bike. Like literally, it's like, oh, you want to go to McDonald's? Nope, you got to stay on the bike. You want to go home? No, you're gonna stay on the bike. They literally don't get off the bike.
Listen, we expanded to motocross. This is just think of it as motocross without the moto.
Moto. The moto.
Okay. But I check it out. Like, hey, I was watching Wimbledon this morning. It's a calming experience when you hear nothing but the sound of people casually talking and then the sound of tennis players.
And then you come on the podcast where we're making jokes left and right.
Yeah, man. What's up with that?
All right, I think that's everything. Unless Joseph, you got any more of your trash non-motorsports to talk about?
Because you can't stay off the weed.
You guys are hilarious. I think that wraps it up.
All right.
Good.
Good. All right. So thank you everybody for tuning into this edition of the Below the Yellow Line podcast. Also, we got brought out some new content earlier today with our buddy Josh, newest addition to the World Racing Media family, with his new show, The Checkered Flag. Check it out. He posted it a couple hours ago. You should give it a shot. Great video. Great guy. So when you're done watching this stream, go check it out. Follow me on Instagram at Velocity87_. Follow me on Twitter at 87Velocity. You guys want to give your social medias while you're at it?
Yep.
Follow me on JLP Snipes.
And subscribe to my channel, Danny Aguirre 48. Instagram, Danny Aguirre _. Twitter, Low Boost Danny.
All right, and follow us on Instagram at World Racing Media. Follow us on Twitter at WR Media Group. Obviously, click the like button, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. And we'll see you next week. Take care, folks.